Hello everyone and welcome to our series about various frauds and scams happening all around the world. Now, do you think you are immune to fraud? Absolutely not. In reality, anybody can fall victim to it. Frauds come in all shapes and sizes, and I will help you learn how to identify them and report them to the proper authorities. Now, what is a scam? It's a confidence trick or a scheme is an attempt to defraud a person or group after first gaining their confidence, used to the classical sense of the trust. Confidence tricks exploit characteristics of the human psyche such as dishonesty, honesty, vanity, compassion, credulity, irresponsibility, innocence, and greed. Every year, thousands of people lose their money and personal information to scams. You may have received some by email, or an odd accent speaking IRS agent calling you about your unpaid taxes of 2007. Scam artists use different types of fraud to try to trick you of your hard-earned money. Scammers are getting smarter all the time, and I will help you scam-proof your life. This way, you won't be tempted to actually think you inherited $10 million from an uncle you never met in Nigeria. Now, I am your host, Dr. Dan Amzalag, and I am the Scaminator. In today's episode, I will cover internet dating scams. Here in the US, the industry generates approximately $2 billion in revenue each year and expanded at an annual rate of 5% between 2010 and 2015. It is definitely a big market for singles out there. But that doesn't mean it's 100% safe. There are a few legitimate dating service websites that allow members to establish online relationships. Often, these online friendships blossom into genuine long-term relationships. An increasing number of people have found their life partners via relationships started online. Sadly, however, scammers have managed to effectively exploit this trend to further their own financial agenda. Many people around the world have been duped into sending money to internet fraudsters posing as would-be girlfriend or boyfriend. I'm sure that many more will continue falling victim as plenty of singles hold their heart in their sleeves, figuratively speaking, of course. Now, a typical internet dating scam goes like this. A person registers at an online dating service and creates a profile. Now, the profile will include information and possibly a photograph of the person along with a way of interested singles to make contact. In due course, a scammer contacts the person posing as someone interested in exploring a possible romantic relationship. Now, the victim responds and the pair begin corresponding regularly. They may soon bypass the dating service contact system and start communicating directly, usually via email. Now, over time, the scammer will slowly earn the trust of the victim. He or she may discuss family, job, and other details designed to make the correspondent seem like a real person who is genuinely interested in the victim. Photograph may be exchanged. However, the person that the victim thinks he or she is corresponding with is likely to be purely an invention of the scammer. Photograph might even not show the real sender. The victim's apparent love interest may look completely different to the person in the photograph and, in reality, may not even be the same gender. Now, after the scammer has established the illusion of a genuine and meaningful relationship, he or she will begin asking the victim for money. Now, for example, the scammer may claim that he or she wants to meet in person and ask the victim to send money for an airfare so that the meeting can take place. Or the scammer may claim that there has been a family medical emergency and request financial assistance. Now, the scammer may use a variety of excuses to entice the victim to send funds. Now, if the victim complies and sends money, he or she will probably receive further such requests. With his or her judgment clouded by the burgeoning love for the scammer imaginary character, he or she may continue to send money. Finally, the victim will come to realize that he or she has been duped, perhaps after waiting freely at the airport for a lover who will, of course, never arrive. Meanwhile, the scammer pockets the money and moves on to the next victim. In fact, the scammer may be stringing along several victims. In many cases, the victim will not only have lost financially, but will also be left heartbroken and hard to trust potential mates. These scammers tend to prey on victims that will be especially lonely, shy, or isolated, and therefore more vulnerable. There are numbers of variations on the same basic scam. In some cases, the scammer may be one of the created a profile on the dating site and wait for a potential victim to contact them. Typically, the profile will include a photograph of a very attractive young woman who will have no trouble attracting would-be suitors. In other cases, the scammer may simply send out random, unsolicited email professing a desire to begin a relationship in the hope that some gullible recipients will favorably respond. Alternatively, they may strike up a conversation with a potential victim via an internet chat room. In some variations of the scam, the fraudster may not ask for money directly. Instead, they may ask their victim to cash money orders or checks and wire them directly the proceeds. Now, the money order or check will turn out to be fake or stolen, and the victim will be left out of pocket and possibly held responsible for receiving stolen funds. The scammer will also try to trick the victim into revealing sensitive information such as their credit card numbers. Now, if you begin corresponding with a person with the purpose of developing a possible romantic relationship, remain cautious, even if the relationship seems to be progressing very well. These scammers are very skilled at building trust and know how to make vulnerable victims fall in love with them. Regardless of the strength of your feeling towards the correspondent, you should view any request for money as highly suspicious. Internet dating scammers often use the same name, family details, and cover stories in multiple dating scams. So here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Hope this episode gave you a little more insight of the structure and strategies of the described scam and allowed you to have a better understanding on how it can affect you or many other victims out there. Now, we are working on an email plugin, also called the Scaminator, which will work for every email client and will purge all these unwanted messages from your inbox. It will add our special stamp, Scam Alert, beside each email, just in case you do decide to open the purge folder, only if your curiosity takes a hold of you. Now, in the meantime, if you do come across new scams using different techniques to lure you into as the next victim, do not hesitate to contact us by email listed below, explaining their techniques and incentives given to you to get you to respond to their scam and ultimately send your hard-earned money. We will then cover this scam in one of our episodes and share it with our audience and make sure to give you aforementioned credits at the end of the show. Until then, my friends, stay safe, stay wise, and stay scam-free. If you're watching this, you are the resistance. Signing off, the Scaminator.